Good morning. It is time for some voiceover Q&A. I say good morning. It's morning for me, but wherever you are in the world, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent and voiceover career coach and author of my latest book, Get Paid Using Your Voice, Get Found, Get Heard, Get Hired. You can download the digital version of this. You can get the paperback version on Amazon, but the digital download is less than $10, and it's right here below in the description. So check that out. When you're doing that, you'll be asked if you want to get the audiobook version of that as well. Well, as you can see, I'm kind of making my official switch into fall-like weather. It's 70s. Actually, it's 60s this morning. It'll be high, like 73 today. So I'm representing my oldest grandson's football team. He's in high school this year, and he's playing football. So we were at the game last night. They had a big win. So congrats to him and his teammates. Good stuff. Man, I tell you what, we moved back to Illinois, a year ago to be here with our kids. Two of our three kids live here, and all of our grandkids live here. So it's been pretty remarkable, pretty awesome. Never a dull moment. We've got two soccer games tomorrow, and then we've had baseball. My younger grandson plays baseball too, junior high. So it's been crazy busy in a wonderful, wonderful way. Appreciate you being here, and if you don't mind taking a moment to check in on the live chat, today's Q&A day, and what that means is you can jump into the chat here, and if you have a question, I'll be glad to answer as many as I can in the time that I have this morning. So I'll kind of pop through those quickly. But if you have something on your mind, something you need to know more about, or explained, or an answer for, I'll help you out as best I can. Just to throw your answer up in the live chat. And even if you don't have a question this morning, just let me know where you're watching or listening from this morning, because I like to do the shout outs and acknowledge you guys because I appreciate you. And of course, as always, your subscription and your likes of the videos are so appreciated as well, because it encourages YouTube to share these videos with more people who are seeking good voiceover information. Rusty was first in this morning, way up north in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. North for those of us in the U.S. If you live in Canada, I guess it would be south. But for us, you don't get much further north than the UP of Michigan. Rusty, first in this morning. Good to see you here. Joe, what's going on in the UK? And Joe's become quite the regular. I love it, Joe. Thank you. Galen, how are you? So many regulars. Carborough, North Carolina. John, always good to see you there in Denver. How's it going? GS in Longview. Bob checking in, saying happy Friday. Or as the self-employed people say, just another day. That's right. Wadsworth, Ohio. Ethan in Toronto. John in Rhinebeck, New York. Nephi in Knoxville, Tennessee. Terry wishes us a good morning from foggy Falston, Maryland. Professor Tracy, how are you doing in Rochester, Minnesota? Rebecca, yeah, hey, Becky, what's going on in Michigan? Feels like fall. Boo, she says. I feel so outnumbered here because everybody, me, my family, they all seem to really to dig fall. And I don't hate fall. I really don't. The only thing that really bothers me about fall is, number one, it's not as hot as summer. Number two, it's a reminder that winter's just around the corner. Becky says, I'm with you, Bill. I love summer and it can never be too hot. Yeah, Becky, we need to start a support group, because frankly, you might be the second person I've ever met who says it can never be too hot. I love that. David, good morning to you in Gardner, Kansas. When someone is celebrating a big birthday, I want you, Bill, and everyone here to know how much it means to have the advice and boost every morning. David, is it your birthday? Happy birthday to you. Which big one is it, may I ask? I remember when I turned 30 was my first. It was the first time I really started to get depressed about my age. I've more than doubled it since then, but it seems like every 5 years I have another. Well, it's not midlife crisis anymore, but it's another life crisis as I move further along down that conveyor belt of life. Mark, what's going on in Montreal? Jason, hello to you in Kearney, Nebraska. Thank you for always telling us that this is a marathon and not a sprint. Thank you for all the encouragement. Keep moving forward one step at a time. Jason, I'm glad you brought that up. It's always a good reminder. It is a marathon, and this coming from a guy who used to run marathons. And I love to see people get excited about, don't misunderstand me. I love to see people get excited about voiceover. People catch on fire and say, man, this is awesome. This is just what I've been looking for. I'm ready to do it. And then they approach it with the zeal of, a zealot. They're extremely enthusiastic, and they throw themselves into it 100%, but they burn so bright that in a short period of time, they just kind of burn up and disintegrate. Whereas if you just have a long, slow burning fuse, take it steady every day, just do the things that need to be done. When the days are good, you do what need to be done. When the days are not so good, you just do those things anyhow because you're not operating on feeling as much as you are on your head. You have to move. When you're performing in voiceover, you got to be in your heart. When you're working in business, you got to be in your head, and you got to do the tasks have the discipline to do the things that you need to do. And when you do that, that's when success hits. Well, Jason, I didn't mean to go off on a tirade there, but thank you for that. Anyhow, that's a good reminder. Melissa, what's up in hot San Diego? And Becky, maybe that's where we need to go. San Diego. Jim, Memphis, what's going on? Vincent, sunny Palm Beach, Florida. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Ty in Warsaw, Indiana. Wait, let me back up here. Marla in Texas. Hey, Wayne, what's going on in the great state of Washington? Sarah in Wisconsin. We got Casey checking in from South Carolina. I've been thinking lately, Casey, just how much I miss. We used to have we had a condo down by the beach in Hilton Head, and we owned it for about 5 years. And then when the value of it doubled, we sold it. And plus Hilton Head's not as friendly to property owners, those like investment property owners, as they used to be. They make it a little more difficult with taxes and stuff. Anyhow, I'm sure you don't care about any of that. Point being, love, love, love South Carolina, in love with Hilton Head, and man, I miss it so very much. David, grandkids rule. They do, don't they? They're awesome. They're the best. I mean, my kids are the best too, but grandkids, that's a different dynamic. When you can when you can be the grandparent, all you have to do is spoil without worrying about the other part. When you're a parent, you got to handle both. You can't just spoil your kids. You're the one who has to discipline and give them direction, obviously, so they grow up to be good human beings, which my kids have. But grandkids, we just get to do the fun stuff. Guy, what's going on in St. Louis? Tim in Altoona, Kendall. Good morning. Marla says, I need encouragement. I still haven't jumped in because I don't know all of the technical stuff. Marla, I didn't realize that. You have been on every morning since I can remember on the live stream. Let me just say this. I totally understand what you're saying. Um, and I think especially now, and I don't know your situation or where you're at, but there are some of you guys who really have like zero background with computers or virtually no background in computers, working with them like PCs. There's some of you who have, a working knowledge. You can operate Microsoft Word, maybe an Excel spreadsheet, enough to be dangerous. And then there are those, so, like me, I enjoy computers, and I've always enjoyed when I was first introduced to them. I just and it was a DOS operating system. That was pre-Windows. That was right when Windows was just starting to come out. And I dove in head first. I was learning DOS commands and all that I know it's I geeked out on it. And so I enjoy the process of learning, but I understand where it can be intimidating if you don't have any of that background. Um, Marla, one thing I would encourage you is to look seriously at the voiceover blueprint. And there's a link below in the description. It's VoiceOver University, and I designed it to handle each of these areas so that there's not only coaching or training on these aspects, but there's ongoing coaching and mentoring. Like, for instance, not only do I have on-demand video training on this kind of stuff, but every Tuesday we do a live session, which Rob Ryder, who's our resident audio guru, and when he's not around, my son Alex, who's a professional audio engineer as well, they teach that. They go and they answer questions and they help people to understand how to do that kind of stuff. And it's not just that, it's designed to handle all of these areas that are intimidating, the performance, the marketing, the whatever. And so I just want to encourage you to not allow anything to stop you from moving forward. And the other thing I would say is this: there's no better time to start learning than today. The thing that you fear most is a thing that you probably need to do, like, immediately. And Will you fail? I mean, will it be hard and will it be confusing and intimidating? Of course. Yeah. I mean, anything new is, but that's short lived. And once you start to get the hang of it, there'll come a time when you won't be able to remember a time when, the thought of being intimidated or afraid will have become such a distant memory, and you'll fully embrace it and you'll love it. And, at least I hope you do the way I have. I mean, even the technical stuff I've learned to love. Hey, Carlin, what's going on in Italy? I assume you're home in Italy. My question to you, have you been on your European river cruise yet? Can I email you? Yeah, feel free. Drop me an email, bill@billdeweese.com. I have not been. I've been doing a little research on it, and I just think, I think it sounds like fun. I've never been to Europe. Can you believe that? I've never been to Canada. I've been to Jamaica. Uh, I guess I'm not a big global traveler. Would love to come to Europe at some point in time. And, of course, my work makes it a little bit difficult because it would require an extended time away and then convincing my wife. That's the other thing. But anyhow, yeah, haven't done that yet, Carl, and hope to at some point in the not so distant future. Aaron, what's going on in Columbia, Missouri? Kirk, good morning to you. Marlene, good morning to you. Good morning to Super Grandpa from California. Thank you, Marlene. I try to be. Sandra, how's it going in Dallas Fort Worth? Jim, I know ACX is rotten picky about details, but how clean do demos have to be for the average client? Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't worry so much about ACX. What I would be concerned about is if you're doing auditions for clients, your auditions need to be final project quality ready. In other words, what you give the client as an audition needs to sound just as good as it will be as a final project. Why? Is because the client will assume that what you give them for an audition is what they're going to get as a final project. So it's important that you learn to just operate at that level. Everything that I create, everything, I don't care if it's a sample audio, a sample thing for something, whether it's an audition, it's recorded and processed and edited in the same way as a final piece of work. Because it's just like, for instance, a realtor will tell you this when they're out dealing with people. It is hard to get people, there might be this amazing house, great bones, as they say, it's got all the stuff. But if the paint's the wrong color, it's hard to get a prospective buyer to envision it the way it can be. Don't make your clients guess what the final product might sound like. You have to give it to them right up front. Patrick, hey there, checking back in from Glen Burnie, Maryland. What's up, Amisha? Happy Friday to you in South Carolina. When will the next voiceover blueprint begin, and what's the latest to join the current class now? Well, here's the thing to understand, Amisha. We do like onboarding every Thursday. We bring, you can come in any day because it's an ongoing, like a school university. It never stops. It's always, the video, the video content. There's, I don't know how there's many hours of that on demand. You can always access. But there's every day of the week, there's live mentoring sessions. So these are not classes that start at a certain time. Every week, again, we onboard new people, but we plug you in immediately when you're ready to go. And then you can start working your way through the content and then immediately start sitting in on these live sessions just to ask questions, or to listen to other people ask questions. So again, it's a dynamic thing. It's not here to here. It's always in process. It's just that every week we onboard new people. Like on Thursdays, we have a time for for brand new and those who are within their first 6 months to being in the blueprint, because they'll have a special set of needs and questions. We want to make sure that we're dealing and helping them specifically. Jim says, for those for whom it cannot be too hot, let them live on the U.S. Gulf Coast. Yeah, you know what, Jim, I hear you. And I've visited down there a number of times. And the only thing that makes heat really bad is humidity. And I think some of the hottest, wettest weather I felt was Houston, Texas. That's where I've experienced the most uncomfortable weather. But I still like the heat. I got to be honest. Mark, good morning. In California Central Valley, where it's still summer with a forecasted high of 105 degrees today. Stay cool. David, 72, but you promised there is no age limit to live a dream. No, that's the truth. And there's there's no age limit to voiceover as well. As long as you can talk and communicate, it's all good. Happy birthday to you, David. Hey, Tim, my daughter is 30 today, making me feel old. Yeah, Tim, that'll do it for you. Jolie says, love the huddle and voiceover blueprint. Thank you, Jolie. Hey, Ronan, how's it going in Ireland? Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. I now have a connection to Ireland. My new daughter-in-law, um, her mother was born in Ireland and actually just lives a few miles down the street from us here. And my daughter-in-law used to travel the world as a competitive Irish dancer, was like world ranked. Crazy, right? Pretty cool. I need to visit someday. JR, good morning. What's going on? Happy Friday. Just booked a job via Session Link. Is Session Link like Source Connect where I need the software, or will I be able to connect through the other party using Session Link? Thanks. Yeah, Session Link, I have several clients in Europe specifically who use Session Link. None of my US clients do. I'm not sure why. And every session I've ever done with Session Link, it's a live directed session, has been through a browser. They email me a link. I click the link and a browser window opens, and there it is. I mean, it's easy peasy. It doesn't get much simpler than that. And congrats and good luck on that. Corey, what's up in Whitehall, Wisconsin? Hey, John. Becky says you should have a live event in Hilton Head. My mister and I love Hilton Head and are needing a reason to go. Becky? Yeah, we our place was at Palmetto Dunes, and they were just in the process of building this new facility and clubhouse and stuff. And I always thought that'd be a great place to do a training. Well, now that I don't own anything there, I don't have access to that. But it would be fun to. You know what? Let me chew on that one. That's good, Becky. Thanks for bringing that up. Wally says, too many kettles in the fire. I need a Vicky, Annapolis, Maryland. Well, unfortunately, I can't share her with you, but I do agree. Vicky's my wife, by the way. Everybody does need a Vicky. She's pretty awesome. Jolie says, Marla, suggesting, giving some advice to Marla. Thank you, Jolie, for doing that. Love that. Great member of the voiceover blueprint, Jolie. Sarah says, just finished my first big Fiverr gig and got an amazing review for it. Feeling encouraged and fired up to keep moving forward. Sarah, the sweet sound of voiceover success right there. That's fantastic. And with Fiverr, success leads to success. It takes incredible patience. I've been on for several years. I still have to be incredibly patient because it comes in waves. I just had like 3 really good paying jobs, like within a week's time. And what happens, you finish those up, do a great job, get good reviews, and then that allows the Fiverr algorithm to keep your gig out in front of people. And then it disappears, and it can be weeks, it can be months, but you just hang in there for that next opportunity. Sarah, that's great. Way to go. Tanya, good morning. Happy Friday from South Philly. Eagle season starts today. Oh boy, I'm excited. But that's one thing I do like about fall is I love football season. Gregory, what's going on? Kennedy Space Center, Visitor Complex, Florida. Do you work there, Gregory? Or are you visiting right now and taking a time out to watch the morning huddle? Hey, Theo, happy Friday from downtown Chicago. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What was a really bad day in voiceover like for you? Like a time when something really awful happened? I mean, there are days when I don't get any work, and I consider that a bad day. Um, Thankfully, those days are less than the days I get work, and some days I get almost more work than I can keep up with. But yeah, I always when you're self-employed and you have a day when no work comes in, you feel like, well, it's a good run, that was of course. But then here I am 18 years later and still working, staying plenty busy. Anyhow, did I have a really bad day? Oh, I'm trying to think. I've had, um, okay, I had a bad day. Now, this was maybe one of my most embarrassing days, and I've shared this before, but I'll just mention it quickly. And I can't say it's a bad day because it was actually, I was working on an opportunity, but the whole thing went south on me. I was contacted by like an agency where 2 people, 2 voices, me and another person, had been selected as the finalists to do a national campaign for Ethan Allen Furniture. So that's a pretty big deal. I don't know what the payout on that was gonna be, but I bet it was been a good chunk of money. So it's very exciting. And the audition was happening over Source Connect. No problem. That happened, I'm not asked to do that very often, but it's for a pretty major campaign. I'm sure lots of money involved. Yeah, heck yeah, I'll do an audition over Source Connect, a directed audition. So we did it, and I found out after the fact that they had recorded me. Let me back it up. I say they recorded me. It was my fault, not their fault. With Source Connect, I had accidentally, because I had switched to a new computer and was working out some kinks, the input to my Source Connect was set to the internal microphone of my computer, my MacBook Air, which is sitting in front of me right now, which I always work with, not my Neumann TLM-103. What's weird, though, is that the engineer didn't catch that. I thought that was strange that he didn't realize that. Anyhow, I recorded did the session, and then later, the engineer calls and says, "Yeah, they said the audio doesn't sound good." Like, "Why?" Well, and then after some further investigation, I realized why, because they'd been hearing me through my notebook computer. I didn't get the job. Now, and I didn't get a chance to do the audition again. Whether that's the reason or not, I don't know. I'd like to think that had they had not heard me through my notebook computer, I would have gotten the job. But let's just say this, it certainly didn't help, and it was so I was embarrassed, and I was super discouraged because those kind of jobs don't come along every day or every month even. And when they do, you wanna make sure you do your best. At least you gotta know you did your best, right? Even if you don't get the job, you gotta know you did your best. But recording through the input of my computer, really? That was a bad day, and that just happened within the past year. John says, "Good morning, everyone from warm and wonderful Plano, Texas. Imaging. Who do I send demos to?" If it's imaging, radio imaging, you send it to radio program directors. Hey, John, Bob, changed from a PC to a MacBook Pro Air. Now I have a learning curve. Now at an impasse trying to add graphics to my gigs on Fiverr. Yeah, I mean, the old PC to Mac, it is a learning curve, even though Macs are generally speaking easier to use than Windows PCs. I was a Windows power user. I mean, for like 20 years, I was really heavily into Mallory trying to call me. Come on, Mallory. Uh, I was a power user, switched in 2010 to Mac. It took me a while to really get used to it, but yeah, hang in there. Let's see here. Okay, I got to run. Boy, it's getting late here. Let's see here. Joy, Casey, Carlin, Doug, Riley, Albert, Marla. I'm trying to see who I haven't said hello to. Jerry, hola to you from Dallas. Guys, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning. Oh, wait a second. One other thing I need to mention, and that is on Tuesday. I mean, if you're looking to get to quickly, dramatically improve your reads for better auditions to win more jobs, my demo performance workshop is coming up on Tuesday. It's 6 people max. And I'll be directing you through 3 scripts that you record in your end so you can use it for a new demo, your existing demo, what have you, but you'll also learn to be a much better and effective performer. So link below in the description, check that out. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.